So in today's class, we are going to continue on and learn even more HTML. Um, but we're going to first begin with the HTML for creating tables. So after tables, we're going to move on to creating lists and also inserting images. And we're going to take a look at inserting even more or creating even more HTML pages in our site. But first, let's take a look at tables. The tables begin with a start tag for a table and then an end tag for the table here. You can see that I've inserted an attribute here that has to do with the style of the table. I'm adding a border. Usually you add and format the borders in the CSS because the CSS always deals with the presentation. However, for the sake of our class exercise, I wanted to add the border here because we haven't learned how to do CSS yet, but I wanted us to be able to see the border of the table. Otherwise, we won't know what we're creating. The border doesn't show up if we don't tell the browser to show the border of the table. So without the border, I'm afraid that we might have trouble seeing if what we did works or not. So here I have added the border, even though we're not supposed to, right? If you were adhering to the true standards of good web design. But it's okay just for this class exercise, just for this one time, we're going to add the border equals 1 attribute here. All right, so having said that, this is the kind of like the outside, the main table element tag here, table out here. Then we have the TR, which is the row. So we go row by row. So the first row here has one data cell. Okay, so the data cell would be the, I guess, the columns is what you can call it. So one row with one cell in it, which is one column. So not very interesting table. So let's take a look at the next one. So let's create something like this in our first class exercise, something with 5 rows here and 4 columns across. So I'm going to exit out of here and go into Atom. Okay. So I'm going to go create file, new file, and before I move on, I'm going to first of all save. So I'm going to go save as, and it should save in here, and I'm going to call this table.html. Don't forget to add the extension .html, and please everything, absolutely everything, lowercase, no spaces, no special characters, just lowercase, no spaces, no special characters, .html. Okay, and now we have .html, and let's begin with our doc type. Okay, doc type. Oops, here I have kind of double entered here. Okay, so doc type declaration first, and then I'm going to tab in here and put my HTML. I always like to end my tags right after I start them so I don't forget them later. Okay, then inside of it I have my head tag, right? And of course, if I'm doing this a little bit fast, you can pause the video and catch up. And that's the beauty of having a video tutorial, right? And as opposed to doing this live. Okay, so after head tag, I have my body. Okay, so very kind of basic structure here for my website. Then I'm going to go File and save everything again here. And inside of my body now, I'm ready to do my table. So I'm going to go Table. Okay, so that is my table element, and I mentioned that I wanted to do a border equals, even though I'm not really supposed to in here, border equals 1 so we can see the table border. Next I'm going to have a row, TR is my row, okay, 1 row, and inside of it I'm going to nest 4 columns. TD. Okay, and I'm just going to copy paste because it's faster. Okay, so I'm going to copy that here, copy. So 4 columns, okay, and I'm going to copy this 5 times for 5 rows. I think that's 5 rows. That's 1 row here, 2 row here, 3 rows here, 4 rows here, and 5 rows here. So that's 5 rows And each row has 4 cells in it, so 4 columns in each row. And I'm going to write Monday for the first one. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Oh, I forgot Wednesday, but really it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you type some text in there, and then here you can kind of enter some random numbers in there. Okay, doesn't really matter too much. Okay. All right, and I can leave the last one blank just to show you that there'll be space in there even if I don't have any text in there. So let's go save it, File, Save, and I'm going to go view it in the quick way because I have inserted the View in Browser package. So I'm just going to go over here and View in Browser right now, and there we have it. Okay, so oh, nothing in my bottom row is kind of collapsed because I don't have any data in there. Okay, so I could go back and add that. So let me go add some data in there. Anything really. And save it. I can go and Packages, View Browser again. There we go. And here we have my first table. Of course, it doesn't look beautiful. It looks, you know, quite plain and not so good, but don't worry, when we get into CSS we can add the padding around it, give it more space, change the font, have a nice background, maybe you have proper borders instead of this default browser default one. Okay, but don't worry so much about the presentation of your content. The HTML has more to do with the structure. All right, so this is how you would create a table. Now sometimes you want to merge tables. Let's say you wanted to merge the bottom row. So how will we do that? You can go to the bottom, and I'm just going to take out all of it. But if you just take out, you know, the TDs, just like that, it will look strange. Okay, so I'll show you. So if I only have one cell or one column where there should be 4, now it looks like that. That doesn't look right? It just looks like it's missing information. So to merge something, you have to use an attribute called colon span. So col span. Okay, so it will be col span. There you go. Equals 4. So how many are you spanning across? Basically, how many data cells are you merging? Okay, would be the number you put in here. Okay, now let's go take a look. There we go. Now you have properly merged it. Okay, so that's it for tables. I hope you understood the basics of it. Oh, there's one more thing I'd like to show you. For the header, actually, instead of TD, the first row usually is the header, right? It has the labels for the whole table. So what you need to do is, instead of TD, you need to have TH. Okay, it should be, oops, now it's gone all crazy on me. Okay, so it should be TH instead of TD. Okay, TH. I'm just going to do it manually. I'm not going to get their help that they're offering here. Oh, I have an error here. Okay. And I'm just going to change all the TDs to TH. It tells the browser that, hey, this is the this is the label for the graph. This is the title for, not for the graph, for the table. Okay, and let's see what happens when I save it and then go view it. Okay, there we go. Now it looks like this. Oh, I have a little bit of an error there, but now it's bolded. Not just bolded for presentational purposes, but bolded because it means that this is important information. It tells the screen reader that this is the heading for the table. Okay,